Got a lot of requests to talk more about how the body is inside the mind, how you can use this information to reshape your body, to better communicate with your body, to develop a relationship with your body such that your body listens to your instructions. If you guys don't know me, my name is Monakhad and I teach reality creation. First of all, I want to say this is not my own interpretation of how reality works in any way. This is thousands of years of Eastern philosophy, wisdom, and really scientific applications. Once people are able to move from the materialistic view on how the body works to this view, a lot of people have been able to effectuate real changes. My strength is taking all these big concepts and communicating them into a simple and practical ways for the application into our lives. What we have here is the physical body, no need to describe it. Around it, there's an energetic system that's equally as important, except we can't see it, and this is called the etheric body. Around that, there's yet another energetic system called the mental body. And then around that, there's yet another energetic system surrounding it called the astral body. There are several other energetic systems, but for the sake of the discussion, we're just going to stop here. The astral body is also the subconscious. All these energetic systems are surrounded by what we call the spirit, and the soul is housed here. So the soul is not the same as the spirit. Now, the etheric body is what I refer to as the scaffolding around our body, which is basically our soul. This etheric body is actually very susceptible to all these other bodies pouring into you. It's really the protection, it's a membrane around your body, and it really houses your intuition as well as it houses basically your feelings and your emotional states. Your mental body, of course, houses your thoughts, and your subconscious houses information that's helpful for you in order to advance this whole system. So what happens here is obviously this information filters through as thoughts, which filters through as emotions, which filters through the body as sensations or instructions to the body. Now you can do anything and create anything within the etheric body in terms of your body, your life, your circumstances. But what happens where 3D blocks us is in this mental body. This is where 3D works hard on us to basically block us. This is where we violate our own sense of intuition sometimes. And this is why, because all of this is blocked, new information actually can't flow into here to go to here in order to create. So this is where people have to work in terms of convincing their paradigm, their subconscious, that things are not as they were programmed, they're not as presented, and they can actually think of life a lot differently. The biggest problem with Western civilization and programming is that everything is filtered from here, and we never listen to this boundary, and we always violate it. Let me give a couple of examples. Let's say I meet a man that checks all the boxes in terms of what I want. He's successful, he's good looking, he's great. So my mind here tells me, I should go for him and I should allow him inside my body. But very few people actually stop here to sense if the interaction violates any of their boundaries. Many times you have a person like this who's good on paper, but everything in your intuition, or even a small thing in your intuition, is telling you, no, you haven't vetted this person enough. This person makes me feel a little bit insecure, a little bit uneasy, a little bit like not exactly the way my body can completely relax against him. So if you jump from here straight to the body, what happens? You have violated all this. This, of course, can apply to food or drinking or a job that your etheric body recoils. When you wake up and you know you have to go to that job, everything in here is telling you, no, don't do it. But your thoughts is like, I have to do it to pay the mortgage. I have to do it in order to go to the next step of my career, etc. all of these are extreme violations of the etheric body. And the problem with violations is that it weakens the etheric body that surrounds the body. And over time, the etheric body deteriorates to such extent. There's constant holes being poked into it. It doesn't trust itself anymore. It goes like a program that goes haywire, that doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, that doesn't provide pertinent feedback as to how you should react to a certain situation, because it's always been violated, not listened to. So it's basically like one of those programs that acts up and no longer works correctly. And so, of course, when that happens, the first thing that happens, the body starts to show signs of going haywire as well, right? Because it's all coming from here. The body starts to deteriorate. You get all sorts of aches and pains. You get physical sensations of heartbreak and everything that's happening in the body, stress sensors, and your body is basically going through a not such a great state. Also, if it's been years of this being the way in which you lived life, and now all of a sudden you're here to manifest the perfect body, the perfect soulmate, the perfect opportunities for you, please understand the how on what those things come to pass lives here. So the universe, this is the universe connection, and this is what knows the how. The how cannot permeate, or if it permeates the mental plane, what happens is, because there's programs here, what happens, it cannot give the proper how information that can be assimilated by your etheric body and translated back into circumstances and events. This is why a lot of people have problems manifested. This is why where thoughts are blocking how you interpret this information. That's coming always. It's always coming once you set out the request. But your ability to interpret this information is very skewed because of what resides here, all this debris. Now, the purpose of this video is for you to contemplate and understand the structure. Of course, now the real work begins in rebuilding your etheric body, in paying attention to how it's communicating to you, where it's maybe not functioning correctly, etc. Throughout my content, I have many pointers into how to rebuild this body. I'm working with my group on several exercises that we do all of the time to redevelop our connection with our dream world, for example, with our intuition, in terms of deconstructing our mind on a constant basis to understand our limiting beliefs. Now, the process of rebuilding your energetic system requires one thing as a fundamental basis, and that is the commitment of putting yourself first. You have to put yourself first. Your biggest currency is your time. And in terms of paying with your time, you have to pay yourself first. You cannot do any of this at the end of the day in the context of living a 3D world and then spending 10 minutes on this. You can't do it that way. You have to put yourself first in terms of understanding yourself, deconstructing yourself, and rebuilding yourself. I hope you take the journey with us.